Hey all, welcome back. So in this one, what I want to do is I want to work on the developer experience a little bit. So what I mean by that is, so in the past I've used formatters like Black before. I've used linters like PyLint, and I've used a tool to sort my imports called iSort. So what these kinds of tools are is like a formatter is just like it sounds like it'll format all of your code for you. So it'll do nice things like you can format everything for you on save. A linter is used so that it'll actually, like, as you're typing, it'll detect any errors that it sees, like unused variables and stuff like that, so that you can easily detect and fix that. And rather than using a bunch of these tools before, there's a new tool that came out a couple years ago, I think, called Ruff, which basically does all of this, and it's written in the Rust programming language, which is a compiled language. It's very, very fast. And so you can install it right on your editor. And having it on the editor will allow you to quickly be able to see any linting problems as well as format everything for you instantly. But you can also download it as a standalone package, which is what we're going to do first. The reason that we're first going to install it as a standalone package is because we can format and lint everything and not just individual files, as well as it'll be a dependency in our project. So if other developers come in here, they'll be able to install the dev dependency and do the exact same thing. As well as it becomes important with more advanced tools that we can use, like GitHub Actions and pre-commit hooks, which I do want to do eventually. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to install this with pipenv like we usually do. So pipenv install Ruff, and then we haven't used this yet, we're going to do a --dev flag. What that's going to do is that's going to put it under dev packages here, so that when other developers come around to install this thing, they will use pip install --dev, and that will get them all of the dependencies they need for the application as well as the dev packages here. So that's useful for a developer, but if we just want to run the actual app like our Docker container will, we don't actually need the dev flag. So that is the reason that we're doing that. Okay, so now we have it installed. I ran the pipenv command again, and we have Ruff here under dev packages. Okay, great. So now what can we do, right? We can do pipenv run Ruff and then just format. And this is straight from the documentation, and you can see that was very, very quick. And if we just take a look at a couple of the files, we can see that a lot of it has changed. You can see by these blue lines right here. And if we also, if you have GetLens installed, you can open changes with previous revision. You can see there is a lot that was done in here. So a lot of it is like putting double quotes to single quotes, or single quotes to double quotes rather. And then formatting a lot of the lines and stuff, but that's still a lot of changes. So typically your best practice with this is when you do a big format like this, um, you can see a lot of it was changed already. So we'll do a separate commit for this, and that way we can be sure that like that one commit that just edited that one thing everywhere. So do a get commit. We'll give it a message, and we'll just call it format everything. Everything. That's fine. Ruff has a lot of default rules which are very, very good, and I don't really want to change them a ton, but I do want to kind of show you how you can change them a little bit. So you see you have your configuration options here. Maybe I need to zoom in a little bit. You have your configuration options, like you can have the line length, you can have whether you want single or double quotes, tabs versus spaces, that whole debate. Docstring format, you can have that in a pyproject.toml, which is just a more general form of like a rough.toml. Here is what you can actually use to dictate how Ruff works, but to make it a more general file, there's also pyproject.toml, which you can use with tools like UV, which is something that I do want to explore in the future as well. But anyway, we'll stick with the rough.toml right now. There are a lot of configuration options. See here, you have a full list of settings right here. And I'll include a link to this as well. For now, I picked out just a few styles that I do want to use. So we'll go ahead and create a new file in here. We'll call it rough.toml. I have a couple of rules on my clipboard that I want to change already, so I'll just paste that. So the default line length in Ruff is 88, so I think that's a little bit restrictive, so I'm going to set that to 100. I do want to use single quotes. I want to skip commas after long lists, so just the trailing comma, the comma in the back. I want to format doc strings as code as well, so let's stick with that and then go ahead and format again. And I also realized that because I copy and pasted this from a Word document, it actually failed to parse, so just, I guess, a little food for thought if that happens to you as well. So change that to single, and then go ahead and format that, and alright, let's see what changed this time. So if we go ahead and use getLens, so among the other things that changed, what you can see is this is how Ruff formatted it by default. This import here, so I had a trailing comma at the end, and now it just removed that trailing comma, so that put everything again onto one line. So I want to demonstrate the docstring formatting too, because this is something that I do want to do. So I have a docstring on my clipboard right now, so we'll remove this comment. And so what we're doing is we're just giving a little blurb about what this function does. We're saying what the arguments are. Notice we're missing one argument. We'll fix that in a little bit. And we have a code block of just how to use this. So we'll go ahead and save that now. And then if we go back to format, then you can see it formatted this code block for us. So about this missing argument, that's not something that formatting is going to handle, but that is something that linting can handle. So that is a good little segue into linting. So to give you an intro, what we can use for that is we can use another Ruff command. So Ruff check. And so what that does is that just spits out a bunch of errors that you have. And the idea is these are kind of non-invasive errors. They're just about removing like the extraneous F string. We don't have anything to format there. Recognizes any unused variables, so it just reports those kind of thing, imports that aren't used. And you can actually fix them automatically by using the -- fix flag. So let's try that out. So it fixed all 4 of those errors because those are so non-invasive that Ruff is just like, I got this for you. Like formatting, linting is also very configurable by the rules page, which I'll also include a link to this in the description. So you have a bunch of linting rules here that you can use, and when I say a bunch, I mean like over 800 here. So we're just going to pick out one. The one that I want to use here is D417 here, and this is for an undocumented parameter. So if let's bring that to the side, go back to ruff.toml. So what we can do here is we can include another section in the toml called lint, and then you can just select the actual rule that you want in here. So let's go ahead and save that. And then if we do pipenv again, then you can see we have an error here for this function not having it having missing arguments. You can see D417 is reported here. Also notice that we passed the -- fix flag, but this didn't actually fix it because this isn't something that the linting can automatically fix for us. It can just report the error. So what we can do here then is we'll just fix it automatically. We'll just say like the plotly figure or something like that. Okay, then we can run the lint again, and it's still showing an error. So the remaining error that it detected was apparently a docstring that we had from earlier in this whole thing, which is on the clean data function. So I've just gone ahead and done a docstring for that. Whoops. Replace the whole docstring. Alright, save that. And now run it. Check again. And all tests passed. Good. Now, so that's cool. We have this select list and we have 417. But I don't want to just do like one at a time, like 417, 418. That's going to get really tiring really quickly. So we can just say D, and that will just do every rule that begins with the letter D, which is all doc strings. So this is also going to report if we have functions that don't have doc strings. So if I run this again, probably get a lot of errors. Yeah, we have 38 fixes to do. So that's a lot of fixes. What I also want to show you here before I drop off is you can install an extension for Rust directly in your browser. So this is going to do what I said at the beginning, where it's going to basically format everything on save for you. Now this is configurable as well with obviously the ruff.tom file here, but if we go ahead and we can create a new file, put it in, this is a vscode specific thing. vscode and I believe cursor respect this. So if you have a .vscode file here and you do a settings.json, and in this you can specify like the actual settings that you want. So it would be the same thing as if you did like control comma and found all the settings here. So this is, as opposed to doing this having it all in one file, which is what I like to do. So on my clipboard I just gave it we can format everything on save. It attempts to fix everything for us automatically. And what I haven't shown you yet is this will actually, this source.organize imports will actually organize all of your imports for you. So if we go back to main.py now and save this, then you can see it organized a bunch of our imports for us. So it does, I believe the order is it does the Python standard library. Yep, that all like standard library. And this is all the third party stuff, and from utils, that's from the project itself, so that must be the third grouping. So that about wraps it up. I will, I guess, get working on all these docstring fixes that I have to do, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.